will only serve to further divide a nation that is calling out for healing.
ABC's Lindsay Davis has more.
Both sides were saying that we've got to put people before politics. Both sides were quoting Abraham Lincoln. They were fighting the same point, but then arriving at a different conclusion. And one congressman summed it up by saying, are we going to condone through acquiescence or condemn through impeachment? In the end, they decided to condemn through impeachment.
Washington, meantime, is bracing for next week's inauguration of Joe Biden. ABC's Martha Raddatz.
You have inside the President of the United States getting impeached for the second time, and outside his legacy as well. The Capitol surrounded by National Guard carrying M4 rifles.
President Trump did put out a video last night condemning the violence, but not taking responsibility for it. 20,000 National Guard troops are expected in Washington by this weekend. Later today, President-elect Biden outlines his economic recovery plan that includes more vaccinations for more people. Something that might help with that. Another vaccine could be approved soon. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Imran Ali says drug maker Johnson & Johnson's shot is different.
Unlike the mRNA type of vaccines that had to be stored in deep, deep freezers with really cold temperatures, this is stable. This uses older technology, and you only need one dose.
Johnson & Johnson's expected to release data from its phase 3 trials by the end of the month. This is ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
New York City attraction dropping association with the Trump name. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says the city is terminating its contract with the Trump organization to operate the Central Park skating rink and the carousel. The Vatican this morning says both Pope Francis and Pope Emeritus Benedict have gotten their first doses of the coronavirus vaccine. Iran flexing military muscle again just days before President-elect Biden is sworn in. State-run media says it fired a cruise missile as part of naval drills. By the end of this week, the numbers fall just right. A pair of lotteries could be awarding jackpots worth way over $1 billion.
The numbers keep growing along with the hype. No big winner again for Wednesday's Powerball drawing. The estimated jackpot for the next drawing Saturday is now $640 million, the fifth largest ever. This is also the longest streak. 34 drawings in a row with no jackpot winner. As for the Mega Millions, Friday's drawing is now worth $750 million, the second largest jackpot. Combined, close to $1.4 billion up for grabs. Lionel Moise, ABC News.
And pity the poor pigeon that survived a trip all the way across the Pacific. A racing pigeon that went missing 2 months ago in Oregon has been spotted in Australia. But officials there say it's a quarantine risk and they might have to put it down. This is ABC News.
For over 40 years, Ray Reynolds has helped customers get millions in credit. It's no wonder why they call him the godfather of credit. Ray Reynolds will get your score above 720. Do you need $50,000 of corporate credit? By using corporate credit, you can finance a business, buy real estate and stock under a corporation. Now you can meet Ray Reynolds on his daily webinar at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Go to rayswebinar.com and check out his free, very informative webinar or call 800-490-4140 now. That's rayswebinar.com or call 800-490-4140.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Good morning and happy Thursday, but waking up to a decent amount of cloud cover and some patchy fog in spots this morning. Those clouds will clear. We'll see more sunshine this afternoon. Highs today in the mid to over 50s. Mostly clear sky, chilly tonight when the low 30s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a chance of showers with a mostly cloudy sky, and those showers continue into Friday evening and overnight. Highs Friday in the low to mid 50s. We're cooler for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We've dropped a couple since this morning at 5:30. It's 36 degrees now, warming up though till 54 after the day breaks and the sun peeks out. It's going to be nice and warm, about 54 light wind. Tomorrow though, it's going to be some freezing rain possibility in the morning when we wake up. And then on Saturday, there's a wind chill value as low as 29, with wind gusting to about 18 miles per hour on Saturday. Beautiful though. Yep, but cold. Now I have these death announcements. There are quite a few of them, so let me get started with these. Tracy Edward Stone, age 65, of Forest City, passed away Thursday at Mission Hospital in Nashville. The family will hold a private service to honor Tracy's life, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services assisting with that for Tracy Edward Stone. Henry C. Deck, age 87, of Rutherfordton, passed away Saturday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. Due to COVID-19, there will be a private graveside service held in honor of Henry. And McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Henry C. Deck. Sheila Peterson Dunham, age 70, of Forest City, died Saturday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. No formal services are planned at this time. The pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the online guest registry, in charge of the arrangements for Sheila Peterson Dunham. Dorothy Sisk Radford, age 88, died Saturday at Fairhaven Home of Forest City. A private memorial service for the immediate family will be held in the Pageant and King Chapel. Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Dorothy Sisk Radford. Thomas Ellis Allen, age 82, of Forest City, died Thursday in the Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. Private family service will be held at a later date, and the Pageant and King Mortuary is assisting with that for Thomas Ellis Allen. Harold Dean Pete Godfrey Sr., 85, of Spindale, passed away Sunday, January the 10th at Oak Grove Health Care Center. Services will be private for the family, and Crow's Mortuary and the Crematory is assisting the family of Harold Dean Pete Godfrey Sr. Gary Paul Luckadoo, 68, passed away Thursday, January the 7th at Asheville's Mission Memorial Hospital. A private memorial service for immediate family will be held at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Gary Paul Luckadoo. Donna Paulette English, age 60, of Mooresboro, passed away Monday at Atrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. Donna will lie in state from 10 until 5 Friday, January the 15th at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside. The funeral service will be 11 a.m. Saturday, January the 16th at Trinity Baptist Church in Mooresboro. Burial will be at Trinity Baptist Church Cemetery. The family respectfully request that all visitors wear a mask and social distance. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is assisting the family of Donna Paulette English. Tiny Johnson Jones, age 97, of Forest City, died Tuesday at Fairhaven Home of Forest City. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock Friday in the Pageant at King Chapel. Burial will follow in the Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Family will receive friends from 1 until 2 Friday prior to the service. Masks and social distancing are requested for the safety of all those attending. The Pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of the arrangements for Tiny Jones. Paul Crowder Upton, age 87, of Forest City, died Tuesday, January the 12th at Atrium Health in Cleveland. A graveside service will be held 11 o'clock Friday at Smith Grove Baptist Church Cemetery. There will be no formal visitation. Mask and social distancing are requested by the family for the safety of all attending. The Pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Paul Crowder Upton. Claude Benny Cole, age 61, of Rutherfordton, passed away Saturday at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at Cooper Springs Congregational Holiness Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Claude Benny Cole. Marilyn Camby Long, 72, of Bostic, died Sunday, January the 10th. A graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Thursday, today at Cedar Grove Church Cemetery. Washburn Dorsey Funeral Home and Cremation Service is serving the family of Marilyn can be long. Gene Smith, age 87, of Rutherfordton, passed away Tuesday, January 12th, at Fairhaven home in Forest City. A private graveside service will be conducted for the immediate family at Broad River Baptist Church Cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for Gene Smith. Clarence Jr. McFarland, age 75, of Forest City, died Tuesday, January 12th, at his home. Those arrangements incomplete and will be announced by the Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory for Clarence Jr. McFarland. Francis Pageant, age 88, died Friday, January the 8th, at hospice in Forest City. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory.
Democrats' most important voting blocks. Hillary desperately needed them. The criminals know it, and now they're frozen out, at least in Florida. Good riddance. For many Americans, their top New Year's resolution is to save more money. One way to accomplish that, switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk. When you and your family make the switch from AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile to Pure Talk, you could save more than $800 a year, and you don't have to sacrifice coverage in making the move. Pure Talk is on the same network as one of those big carriers at just half the cost. Get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data for just $30 a month. And if you go over on data usage, they do not charge you for it. Grab your mobile phone, dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Pure Talk. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless, and you'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dialed text from Pure Talk.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds. This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9, only on WCAB.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke. When I woke up, I couldn't speak or walk.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
182 over 100, and I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke. Everything changed. It felt like my life was over.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke. If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation. 180 over 110, and I had a stroke. And I'm 33, so I never see this coming.
If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed. Head to toe.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
WCAB Rutherfordton.
If you need help in getting your books ready for taxes, you need IE Accounting and Tax Service.
Now, how do you spell that?
ARYEE. IE Accounting and Tax Service is more than someone who fills out forms for you. They can very likely save you money. IE Accounting and Tax Service can help set up your bookkeeping at a lower price than anybody in the USA, guaranteed. Teach QuickBooks, handle your payroll, help with tax planning and implementation to recognize full value. IE Accounting and Tax Service can help if you're in trouble with the IRS or if you're unhappy with the way your tax returns were handled last year. Make a call to IE Accounting and Tax Service today. And you know what else?
I know you spell IEARYEE.
That's right, and they are forensic specialists. They specialize in handling fraud cases. From the simplest tax form to the more complex issues, IE Accounting and Tax Service could be the best decision you could make.
And that phone number is 828-395-1777, Main Street in Spindale.
Michael O'Rourke was an 18-year-old gambler with the romantic nickname of Johnny Behind the Deuce. On January 14, 1881, he was in Charleston, Arizona, a mining camp about 10 miles from Tombstone that, incidentally, no longer exists. While eating at a restaurant, Johnny and mining engineer Philip Schneider got into an altercation that ended with Johnny shooting and killing an unarmed Philip. Johnny behind the deuce was arrested. Incident over? Not really. Since Johnny was a drinking partner and friends of the Cowboys, they started talking about freeing him. At the same time, after shooting an unarmed miner, the miners started talking about lynching him. The task was to get Johnny to Tombstone in jail. Constable McClelvey, Virgil Earp, Deputy Sheriff Behan, and Marshal Sippy, aided by a well-armed, strong posse, got Johnny to Tombstone. But Tombstone's Allen Street was packed with angry miners wanting Johnny to be taken back to Charleston. Law enforcement remained cool and the mob backed down. As an aside, Wyatt Earp, in his memoirs, said that he single-handedly held off Johnny's lynch mob. Nowhere in the current accounts of the incident was Wyatt's name mentioned. He could very well have been a member of the well-armed, strong posse, but he in no way held off the mob by himself. Johnny was held without bail in the county jail for the next grand jury, but 3 months later, with the help of fellow prisoners, Johnny behind the deuce escaped jail, and true to the miners' fear, he was never recaptured. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, here we are with Thursday morning again, closing in on the weekend in January. This is the 14th of the month, 17 minutes after 7, and we're going to the phones, find out what's been going on in the past 24 hours in the world of crime fighting. And Sheriff Chris Francis, good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I am indeed. Thank you. What's on the report today?
Jim, the last 24 hours, the Love County Sheriff's Office has responded to 116 calls of service. There have been 4 arrests processed at county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 147. Among those arrested, Brian Keith Hicks, 25-year-old male of Ruffin, was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, possession of Schedule II narcotics, and failure to appear, and received a $10,000 secured bond. Benjamin Lee Sang III, 20-year-old male of Ruffin, was charged with resist, obstruct, delay, received a $2,500 secured bond. Matthew Todd Stacy, 33-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with intimidating the state's witness in DVPO violation, will see a district court judge for bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in, enter, and larceny motor vehicle, Mara Motor Road in Forest City. It's a 2003 Chevrolet Silverado, blue in color, displaying an independent dealer tag of 28843, valued at $8,000, and that does have Mara Motors decals on it if that were to be located. Also in the back there was a set of used 17-inch tires, right, $150, a grill for a 2016 Ford Escape, as well as a transmission from a 2013 F-150. So any of those items or that vehicle, we certainly would like to be notified it's been located. We recovered a stolen vehicle on Whitesides Road. It was stolen on Tuesday night from Brunswick County, and the suspect, Brian Keith Hicks, drove the 2015 Kia Optima from Brunswick County back to Ruffin County just in time to get arrested. We also had a damaged property on US 64, King Creek Grocery. Vehicle drove off with a gas nozzle, damaging that gas pump there at the King Creek Grocery last night. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Does the Shannon Dean Martin tie in with the stolen truck from Mara Motors?
He is definitely a suspect or a person of interest in that, and he is wanted on other failure to appears. So definitely use caution on him. He is possibly armed. If anyone will see that vehicle, best would just be call 911 to notify.
All right, Sheriff, I do appreciate the report, and keep up the good work, and be safe out there. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in from the Sheriff's Department. We'll find out about 911 calls in a moment.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's say good morning to Amber. She's busily working this morning over 911 Communications Center and has a report for us today. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's on that report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 395 911 calls and administrative calls, which has consisted of 60 calls for EMS and 22 for rescue. For law enforcement, there were 116 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 85 for Forest City, 2 for Lake Lure, 65 for Rutherfordton, and 61 for Spindale. And for fire calls, Rutherfordton responded to a structure fire with Spindale assisting, and that's all we have.
Thanks, Amber. You have a good day now.
All right, you too. Thank
Bye.
you.
At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Let's see now what SDO Fire District's been doing in the past 24 hours. And Ruby Taylor is there to give us that update. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report today, Ruby?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and I don't have any birthdays today, and the signs are in the legs today and going to the feet tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
All right, Ruby, thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Joining me in the Blue Room this morning about 8:35 will be Walter Dalton, president of Isothermal Community College. This probably will be his farewell interview. He's retiring, as you know, from the college, and a long list of years of experience. And we'll talk with him about that, what his plans are next. Walter Dalton, my guest, 8:30 this morning here in the Blue Room.
It's great to get discounts on beautiful furniture, and thanks to the Recliner Center, you can get 10% off everything in the store. 10% off lift chairs, 10% off sofas, 10% off recliners, 10% off bedding. Angela has changed her hours to suit your schedule. The Recliner Center is now open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4, and Saturdays, 9 to 2. And of course, you can make an appointment by calling 828-395-3562. Come by soon and pick out the recliner, sofa, or lift chair that best suits you and get 10% off your purchase. Come by and see Angela Cooper at the Recliner Center today. The Recliner Center is on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Gary Wilson is up next. He's up in the Fairfield Mountains Fire District in Bills Creek area with our report today on this Thursday. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. Hope you're doing well.
Doing good. Yep, everything quiet up here this morning. No freezing weather or anything, about 36 degrees and partly to mostly cloudy during the night. No precip or anything so far. They called for a little bit of rain last night, but I don't think we got anything up here. That looks like it's pretty dry out there.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's been on the peaceful side to start the year off and see how long that'll last. Got some colder weather coming in here this weekend, sounds like.
It sounds like it, but maybe since we got a new year, it's going to be quiet and it'll make up for all those bad things last year.
I hope so. We could use a different year this year than we had last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, isn't that true?
Put that one in the rearview mirror as far as we can get it.
That's exactly right.
That's about all we got, Jim. Ain't nothing much going on. There's a quiet time of the year right now. Just wait and see what happens next.
All right, Gary, thanks so much for being there for us, and we'll check in with you next time.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company. Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. Jackson, Mississippi. An independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, if you look at the calendar, I hate to rush things, but look at the calendar. You see February 14th coming up real soon, about a month from today, as a matter of fact. And we always think about those different things we could get for a Valentine, other than box of candy. The box of candy is always good, too, but how about checking in with the Washburn store and let them prepare a Valentine basket for you? They do baskets for any occasion, and they've got a lot of nice things they can put in that basket and dress it up real well. And you can find a lot of things for yourself as well, even including nails. Yeah, nails. Go see them. You'll enjoy browsing the store. They're at our historically significant friendly store, Washburn General Store, between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Here's Bob Hodge now reporting to us from the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob. How are things over there?
Well, things going along pretty good up here on this Thursday morning.
Good.
Looks like it's going to be another pretty day before it clouds up and gets some more rain or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, whatever comes, we'll take it there. So
Well, we never get bored with our weather, do we?
never get bored with the weather there. And Jim, up here with the fire department, it's been pretty quiet. We've answered a couple of medical calls. Hadn't had any fire wreck calls overnight. So things are going along good up here so far this morning, and that's about it. Usually sort of short, and I guess that's good. So,
Okay, yeah, that is good, Bob.
so you take care, Jim, and have a good day.
Thanks for being there for us. We appreciate it. We'll check in with you next time.
All right,
Thanks,
bye-bye.
Bob. Hudlow Fire District reporter Bob Hodge there this morning, 27 minutes after 7.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Here's Sue Price reporting from the Cherry Mountain Fire District. See what's been happening over there. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
What's on your news blog today?
Well, not a lot. Just another quiet morning, I hope. Finally getting daylight out there. Stayed dark a long time this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I didn't have any calls from the fire department. On my church calendar, I've got a birthday for Savannah Hudson. On my personal calendar, I've got Huck Arrowwood and Kaylin Ramsey. So I hope those kids all have a good birthday. And, of course, Kaylin is on Fairview's calendar. And I don't have any announcements. Haven't had anything come in. It's just been quiet over this way. And I guess that's a good thing, considering everything.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, we're looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks very much, Sue. Enjoy your day as well, and we will check back with you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. 28 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock, and we have, let me check with Peter, the meter reader, and we have 36 degrees right now.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Shingle Hollow, one of my favorite places in the county, is still on the map, and Tina's still there to give us the news of that community. Good morning, Tina.
It's one of my favorite places, too.
Have you lived there all your life?
I've lived here 6 years, and I love it. But now my husband's been here all his life.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's some great people here, but Rutherford County's got great people all the way around.
All the way around the county. You're right about that. Sometimes we have to look a little harder to find them, but
you don't have to look too hard. You don't have to look too hard to find great people.
They're there, aren't they?
They're there. They're just under the surface, or you don't have your eyes looking in the right way if you can't find some great people around here.
There's something good. There's something good in everybody.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've heard that, but sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
35 degrees up here this morning. I hadn't even looked out to see the sunrise.
Are you checking to see if the sun has risen? Hello? Hello, Tina. Have we lost our connection with Shingle Hollow this morning? I believe we have. I believe we've lost our connection. Last thing I heard her say was, I don't know if the sun's rising out there or not, and all of a sudden, we lost her.
I lost you, didn't I?
There you are.
I was just talking away. As my preacher says, I was jawing. I hit the mute button on my phone. So what was the last thing you heard?
Last thing I heard you say was, I don't know if the sun's rising this morning or not.
Oh.
And then I thought you went to look out the window to see if it was risen. You were no longer there.
Well, it is rising over there, but there's some clouds and there's a little frost out there. I'm running a little bit behind this morning. We're headed to, or not behind. My routine has changed. We're headed to Charlotte. My nephew Tristan is having a follow-up. The fellow that everybody prayed for. We know it's going to be a great follow-up, and just thank everybody for praying because he has really done well.
Good.
And birthdays is James Haynes. Hope he has a great big day. And both fire chiefs said no calls, so we're happy about that.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet all over the county with fire departments. That's a good
We
thing.
like it when it's that way. And especially here in wintertime, as cold as it is, and people using wood heat and
That's right.
all other kind of sources of heat. So everybody just stay safe. Thank y'all for listening to me this morning.
You be safe on the road.
I'm going to try my best. Have a great day.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's the bar. We'll call back up to Shingle Hollow, see what's going on. Phone is down apparently over at Drop-In in Boston, but we do want to tell you that they have a great store there, Drop-In, unlike any convenience store you'll find, because it's a Drop-In Family Mart. And they've got steaks, pork chops, roast back in the meat market, filet mignon, and they have a beautiful produce department, grapes, apples, have the best price on milk, everyday low prices on bread, and you got to try their chicken. Yep, Major Lee's chicken, the potato wedges, pizza, beef dogs. If you need propane gas, they've got a good price on propane. Just call your order in over there for breakfast, and they'll have it ready for you when you get there. If you need help taking your groceries out, they can even take that to the car for you. Good personal service like nobody else. That's the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic, formerly Sammy's. They're right there on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, crossing the post office. So go see them. Sorry we didn't get a chance to talk with Jessie today, but maybe they'll get that worked out tomorrow. We'll be back in touch with her. Right now, we're heading up to up to Union Mills, to UMNC. And Brenda Cowley's on the phone with you right now to give us the news from up that way. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I'm FINE.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad you can spell.
I can spell some things.
Some things I can't spell.
Well.
But that's all right. We've made it through all these years, haven't we?
We have, yeah. Now they got spell checking with everything, and you don't know how to spell it, they'll spell it for you on the computer.
Well, that's good, ain't it?
That's it makes our thinking process a little lazy, though, when we depend on the machine to correct our spelling.
That makes me think of your phone the other morning when you said it had snowflakes on it, and you didn't know what was going on. And guess what? We had snowflakes that day.
We did.
These machines are very smart, aren't they?
They are, indeed.
Yeah.
I wonder sometimes if they don't know more than they should.
Well, probably they do. Probably they do. But we hope everybody's having a good day. Let's see, I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries. I've got 34 degrees on the front porch, so that's a little bit warmer than it was yesterday, but it's going to turn cold for the weekend, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And we've got a lost pet pig at Camp Creek and Frog Creek area. If you find her, you can call 828-429-1319, and she's white, little pot-belly pig. I don't know how little she is, but anyway, if you find her, they want their pet back. I felt sorry for that lady when she bought that paper up here Sunday night. She said, "I look out there and her little house is empty."
Yeah.
So people get attached to all kind of animals, don't they?
But are pigs known to walk far away from their home? Don't they stay pretty close?
Now that I don't know. Only pigs. Me and Donald raised some pigs one year. Oh, it's been probably 10 years ago. But they were fenced in. They never got out or nothing. Mm-hmm. But we just raised them to have meat in the freezer.
Yeah, right.
We didn't raise it for no pet. Now we had pigs when we were little. We raised pigs. And I can remember one time Miss old Sal got out with all them little piglets, and here we was trying. They run through your legs. Ain't no way you can catch them.
I think my favorite pig was Porky Pig.
Well, there you go. That's all right. But I don't know of anything going on or nothing. It's just quiet up here, and it's plumb cloudy up here. But better enjoy the day because it's supposed to get colder tomorrow and Saturday, ain't it?
It's going to start dropping this week, sure is. Saturday's going to be really, really cold.
I don't like it when it's cold like
wind
that.
Wind chill as low as 29.
I'll have to sit with my feet in the fireplace.
Yeah, wind will be gusting about 18 miles an hour, and the temperature's going to be kind of about 44, but it'll feel cold.
That'd be a good day to make a big pot of beans or a big pot of homemade vegetable soup and a cake of cornbread.
Now you're talking.
That's what I might have, is a big pot of vegetable soup and a cake of cornbread Saturday, if it's going to be that cold.
Yeah, that'd be a great day for it.
Yeah, but I don't know of anything going on, so I guess you better go check on Lou for Sweet Thing Gilligan down at Ellenburg and see if he's okay.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Catch you later.
All right, bye. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning. As we are experiencing the impact of COVID-19, let's stop predicting and let's prepare. Life changes, and then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called the unexpected. So when it comes to your financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale. A job loss, a change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call me today at 828-287-9197. Our office is located at Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This is Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
7:39 here on this Thursday morning edition. Later this morning at 9:05 on My Great America with Jimmy the Butch. Our guest again is going to be Representative Steve Stockman, who's spent some time in prison because he put the pressure on the IRS back when they were coming down on nonprofits and religious groups. He talked to them, was interviewed, and not too long after that they raided his home and arrested him. But he just got to, Sinners just got commuted there by the president. And he'll be talking about that with us this morning on My Great America in 905 right here. Meanwhile, we're going over to my great Ellenboro and talk with Luther Gilligan. Luther, good morning.
Good morning to you. It's a nice day out here. No frost this morning.
I know, I like that part.
Yeah, it didn't have scrape windshield. Didn't have to crank it up and go back in the house, let it warm up.
That's right. Much better.
That's the way to do that. Stay in the house where it's warm. But it's quiet out here this morning. Just had a quiet night last night. Probably had 4 medical calls yesterday, but the guys got to sleep last night, so they were glad about that this morning. And nothing else going on down here. Everybody just getting their gas, their biscuits, and they're heading on out to work. Trying to get the last 2 days in this week. Have a 3-day weekend coming up. Have a good time. So, Jim, you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks. I'll see you, Luther. Have a good one now.
All right, take care now.
Bye-bye. 3-day weekend he's talking about. Monday is a holiday for some folks, 18th of January. Other folks, it's a regular work day, but for some it is a 3-day weekend. Time now for birthdays and anniversaries for this 14th day of January. Call yours into us now at 287-3356, and we'll give you a big shout-out and let folks know that you are celebrating another one, you live through another one, and have a birthday to celebrate. And anniversary, if you're proud of that, call us now, 287-3356. 287-3356, and we'll have a birthday party just for you.
Henson Building Materials is returning to our regular days and hours to better serve the fast-growing building needs of the Forest City area. Our hours will be 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon. We'll still be taking safety measures, cleaning, wearing masks, and social distancing, all while our friendly and knowledgeable staff will be taking your orders on a variety of building, remodeling, and DIY projects. With the combined experience of over 50 years, Jamie Earls, Terry Dunaway, and Randy Harrell in our 10,000 square foot showroom will get you in and out, loaded and back to your project, all with the flexibility in ordering. And while you're at it, visit our Homeworks by Henson showroom with our 2 designers for all of your kitchen and bath cabinet and countertop design needs. Time to get out, get busy, and visit Henson Building Materials. Building starts here.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Happy birthday. Kaylin Ramsey is 12 years old today. Caritha Anderson and Caroline Ferris, both of these ladies are from Golden Valley, having birthdays today, so we hope it's going to be a good one for all of them. And have many, many more happy returns. And thank you for letting us share your birthday and give you a big shout out on this day. Coming up in just a few moments, Keys to Confident Living. And we'll take you down memory lane with some of our classic oldies and be back at the top of the hour with some more news from here and there. 8:30 this morning, Walter Dalton will be my guest right here in the Blue Room. Stand by for all of that exclusively right here on the 100.9 FM, 590 AM.
I shall not want is the second sentence of the 23rd Psalm. The psalmist either had everything he could possibly dream of, or else he had learned a great secret to contentedness. The word want can either mean every appetite has been satisfied, or I have my basic needs supplied and therefore can be content. Too often we think we must supply every craving that comes to our mind. You may have heard the saying, the person with the most toys when he dies wins. However, the person with the most toys when he dies still dies. Experience has proven that people with the most toys don't necessarily win, or are they the most contented. Sometimes they are extremely miserable. The shepherd gave the psalmist enough of the right things to make life worth living. These things supplied him with purpose and meaning. He didn't lack anything. He had all he needed. The psalmist in another place said, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." If your life is centered around trying to acquire everything you think you want, you will not find contentedness, for it is not found in things. Rather, contentedness is found in a right relationship with your Creator and in giving your life away. Jesus said, "Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." With what the shepherd provides, you too can say, "I shall not want." This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds. This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9, only on WCAB.
Got mad and closed the door, but you said, child, just once more. I chose you for the one, now we're having so much fun. You treated me so kind, I'm about to lose my mind. You made me so very happy, I'm so glad you came into my were untrue, but when it came to loving you, I'd spend my whole life with you. 'Cause you came and you took control, you touched my very soul. You always showed me that loving you is where it's at. You made me so very happy, I'm so glad you came into my life. Thank you, baby. Yeah, yeah,
from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. A second impeachment for Donald Trump, and this time 10 Republicans crossed the aisle to agree with a single article, citing the president with inciting an insurrection against the U.S. government. Democrat Jerry Connolly from Virginia.
Are you on the side of chaos and the mob, or on the side of constitutional democracy and our freedom? It's that simple.
Even House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, a longtime ally of President Trump, spoke out against him.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding.
McCarthy voted against impeachment, however, saying he preferred censure. A Senate trial would likely not be held until at least January 20th. Current Majority Leader Mitch McConnell not saying whether he will vote to convict. ABC Chief White House Correspondent Jonathan Karl.
If McConnell takes that step, if McConnell would actually go forward and vote to convict Donald Trump, I think there is a very real possibility that you would get 67 votes overall in the Senate to actually convict him by that two-thirds majority.
With Inauguration Day less than a week away, 20,000 National Guard troops are expected in Washington by this weekend, as militia groups threaten more violence.
Along with D.C., of most concern, state houses in Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. The FBI also warning that right-wing radicals see the January 6th Capitol assault as a success. And now different groups are coordinating. ABC News has learned that the FBI is tracking two men who were part of last week's Capitol mob, who are allegedly planning to come back for another attack on the nation's Capitol on Inauguration Day.
ABC Chief Law and Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. The FAA will begin handing down stricter punishments to unruly airline passengers, including fines of up to $35,000 and possible prison time. A string of passenger cases stemming from passengers' refusals to wear masks. This is ABC News.
Here is some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or if you sign up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called MediShare. It's the affordable alternative to health insurance, and it's worked beautifully for 25 years. They have more than 400,000 members now around the country. MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry, and over the years, members have shared over $3 billion of each other's medical bills, so they could help share your needs too. And best of all, you could save a lot of money with MediShare. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money every month. You're not stuck with a high-cost health plan. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They are super easy to talk to. Call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Delta Airlines now says it's lost over $750 billion in the fourth quarter. For all of 2020, with travel hampered by the coronavirus pandemic, Delta lost nearly $12.5 billion, and the airline warns more losses are coming later this year. It has now been 25 years since the disappearance of a girl in Texas that led to the creation of a program that would be named in her honor. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
On January 13, 1996, Donna Williams watched her daughter head outside to play.
Her last words that I heard from her is, "I love you, Mommy."
4 days later, Amber Hagerman's body was found in a creek. Now, says Assistant Arlington Police Chief Kevin Colby.
There is new technology when it comes to DNA, and we're excited about being able to submit that.
In hopes of finding the person who killed Amber Hagerman, the namesake of the Amber Alert program. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
A soldier accused of sexual assault by another soldier who was later found dead in her barracks faces arraignment today. The family of Asia Graham says Army officials dragged their feet in investigating her claims. The Army does not suspect foul play in Private Graham's death, however. Some wine experts have an out-of-this-world task: figure out what, if anything, space travel does to wine. A SpaceX capsule that just returned from the International Space Station had 12 bottles of wine on board, and testers are going to see if several months in microgravity did anything to the taste. This is ABC News.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. GoHereNext.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. This afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine, a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky expected. Highs today in the mid to upper 50s and near 60. Mostly clear sky, chilly tonight, in the low 30s for Friday morning. Friday afternoon, the clouds will be quick to increase. We'll see a chance of showers by Friday afternoon and evening. Highs in the low to mid 50s. Some showers continue Friday night into Saturday. We're chillier for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We'll start next week with sunny skies. Sunny skies on Sunday with highs around 46. Monday, 48. But the wind's going to be a factor several days, like on Saturday. And then again on Monday, wind gusting to 14 miles per hour, which is going to make it feel a lot cooler. Monday night, we're back down to 27 degrees. Tuesday, mostly sunny, highs around 52. Then Wednesday, partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain and snow mixed again, kind of like we had the other day, perhaps, and with light wind. We'll check on that as it gets a little closer, still a little bit far away to really know for sure what's going to happen with that. But we got an eye on those little snowflakes in the forecasts for next week. We'll see what happens with that respect. We have news from here and there coming up in a few moments. Walter Dalton will be with us a little after 8:30 this morning for an interview, and we got a lot to pack in this next hour. So stand by, buckle your seatbelts. It's full speed ahead.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we have a number of vaccines, including the Quad-Vac flu immunization at no cost with most insurance plans. If you have any concerns about the flu vaccination, please call our pharmacy and ask to speak to one of our pharmacists. We also have the Tdap, pneumococcal, and shingles vaccinations available. With COVID-19 continuing, we have masks, mask lanyards, hand sanitizers, disinfectant spray, and gloves while supplies last. Seating in our fountain is still limited to 65 patrons on a first-come, first-served basis. We are continuing to offer curbside pickup for the fountain and prescription pickup. Please utilize our drive-through prescription window at the back of the store. And remember that our back entrance is still closed to the public at this time. Please check our Facebook page for any updates on over-the-counter and gift shop items. Our home medical equipment department is ready to help you with any of your CPAP needs, mobility, bathroom safety, lift chairs, and any diabetic needs to include meters, test strips, and shoes. Please call us with any questions you may have about any of our services or message us on our Facebook page. We are located at 139 East Main Street in downtown Forest City. Our phone number is 828-245-4591.
Now let's look at some stories from here and there. The Sheriff's Department is requesting the public's assistance in locating a stolen truck and a person of interest. January 13th, Mora Motors reported that sometime between 2000 hours and 8:15 on the 13th, someone broke into their garage and stole a 2003 Chevrolet Silverado work truck. The truck is blue in color and has Mora Motors late model auto parts on the door of the truck. When the truck was stolen, it had a transmission for a F-150 Ford truck, a grill for that Ford Escape, and a set of used 17-inch tires in the bed of the truck. Possible suspect and person of interest is Shannon Dean Martin. Martin has several orders for his arrest on unrelated charges. Martin is possibly armed and caution should be made. If you see him, don't try to apprehend him. Call 911. Anyone with information as to the location of the stolen truck or Shannon Martin is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 288-8477 or Rutherford County 911 Communications. Sheriff will have more on that during the Sheriff's Report in just a few moments. Rutherford County has 27 new coronavirus cases as of Wednesday, according to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. The county's current 14-day positivity rate is at 21.2%. At 5,302 cases, Rutherford eclipsed the 5,200 cumulative total threshold Wednesday as the U.S. braces for more COVID-19 fatalities and record-high hospitalizations stemming from recent holiday gatherings. The U.S. reported its highest number of coronavirus deaths in one day, Tuesday, 4,327, according to Johns Hopkins University. In North Carolina, at least 641,073 people in North Carolina have tested positive for the coronavirus. 7,745 have died, according to the health officials. At least 3,951 people in North Carolina were reported hospitalized with the coronavirus as of Wednesday. That's the second highest hospitalization reported during the pandemic. Rutherford County health officials are urging currently eligible residents to make an appointment to get the COVID-19 vaccine at the health department. And they are asking you to make a reservation. Don't just show up over there. They won't have time to see you. Need an appointment to receive the COVID-19 vaccine at the health department. They're in the process of scheduling over 2,500 appointments for the individuals in Phase 1A and 1B. If you do not have an appointment, please do not come to the health department drive-up clinic, because drive-up and walk-up requests would not be allowed due to the limited number of vaccines available each day. If you're eligible for the vaccine, please fill out the online form or call 828-223-5735. Again, that phone number is 223-5735 if you are eligible for the vaccine. Meanwhile, an inmate at Rutherford Correctional Center died Monday from COVID-19, marking the first virus-related facility at the prison in Spindale. Prison officials said the offender, who suffered from pre-existing medical conditions, died the same day he tested positive for the coronavirus. Tom Ishii, Commissioner of Prisons, said we continue to work diligently to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 in our prisons because the health and safety of the staff and the offender population continues to be our top priority. The offender was hospitalized Monday when he tested positive for COVID-19. His condition worsened and he died later the same day. The offender was a male in his early 60s who had an underlying health condition. Given his family's right to privacy and the confidentiality of prison offender records, the Department of Public Safety declined to identify the inmate. Prison leadership claims to have taken more than 4 dozen actions throughout the North Carolina prison system to try to prevent transmission of the virus. Good news for Facebook. Good news for Kid Census thanks to Facebook. Facebook grants Kid Census $300,000 toward Factory's Tech Lab. Then in Rutherfordton, Kid Census Children's Interactive Museum announced Facebook's grant late Wednesday, which supports the organization's capital campaign for the factory, which includes a 2,000 square foot tech lab, a hands-on advanced maker space for children. The tech lab is of 4 zones of engagement in the factory, which will provide access to advanced technologies for kids 11 and up to explore, imagine, and create. So congratulations to the factory and Kid Census. Big grant there from Facebook. There's another scam out there. We like to keep you abreast of the scams, and these have been pretty predominant up in McDowell County. We had some reports here as well. A local man was recently contacted by email by a person claiming to be from Publishers Clearinghouse, offering him $150,000 in exchange for him sending vanilla gift cards. Authorities advise local residents to be wary of any offer involving giving money to receive money. Be aware that there are multiple scams involving these transactions. Do not give money or personal information to someone that you don't know. Get a name and number and verify that the caller works where he says he does. Publishers Clearinghouse is not going to ask you for a card, vanilla gift card, under any circumstances whatsoever. So just ignore those kind of please, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the governor of North Carolina has mobilized the National Guard for security in North Carolina and District of Columbia on Inauguration Day. According to the Office of the Governor, 550 total North Carolina National Guardsmen have been mobilized, including approximately 350 National Guard personnel reporting for duty in North Carolina and 200 National Guard personnel being sent to D.C. Beginning this weekend, personnel will be assisting local law enforcement in the state. Governor Cooper said in a press release, ongoing security concerns in Washington and state capitals around the nation following last week's attack on the U.S. Capitol must be taken seriously, and I will deploy necessary resources to keep North Carolina safe. He says, I have spoken with state and federal authorities and thank the men and women of the North Carolina National Guard for their continued service to our state and nation. Beginning this weekend, they will be working in the areas. Additionally, at the request of federal authorities, personnel will be assisting civil authorities in Washington for approximately 7 to 8 days. Governor's office adds that North Carolina is one of several states providing personnel to D.C. ahead of the presidential inauguration. Guardsmen will be providing site security, establishing checkpoints, and protecting critical infrastructure. They're expecting something to go crazy, I think, but hopefully folks are settling down. We certainly hope so anyway. It's 8:15. We'll have the Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Francis coming up here in just a moment.
You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
16 minutes after 8 o'clock here on this tremendous Thursday morning, and we welcome you to enjoy a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mostly sunny, highs around 54 degrees. Well, Nancy Pelosi said it breaks her heart to have to impeach President Trump. How many of you believe that? If you believe it broke her heart to do that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona I'd like to talk to you about. Yeah, she said charging President Trump incited an armed rebellion, and Nancy Pelosi said it just broke my heart to have to do that. And she keeps insisting that he's a clear and present danger for the nation. But she says it breaks her heart. I just can't see this. Speaking of inciting riots and bad attitudes, have you heard about the PBS staff attorney? Worked for PBS. He's a staff attorney. He said the government should take away children of Trump voters and put them in re-education camps. Yeah. He said the government should take away the children of Trump voters and put them in a re-education camp. That's what he said. PBS staff attorney is now out of a job. He got fired after saying on a secretly recorded video that the federal government should take children away from people who voted for President Donald Trump and put them in re-education camps. The Project Veritas video reported prior to the 2020 election shows now former PBS principal counsel Michael Beller saying these kids who are growing up knowing nothing but Trump for 4 years, and you've got to wonder what they're going to be like. They'll be raising a generation of intolerant, horrible people, horrible kids. He also calls them, they want to go for the Republican voters, and the Homeland Security will take their children away and put them in re-education camps. He also calls them enlightenment camps and said that they're nice. They have Sesame Street characters in the classroom, and they watch PBS all day. Well, I don't know what he'd been drinking or smoking on that particular day, but he was inciting bad attitudes, but nothing. Nancy's not brokenhearted over that, but PBS did fire him. They released a statement saying this employee no longer worked for PBS. As a mid-level staff attorney, he did not speak on behalf of our organization, nor did he make any additional decisions. But he did make some mighty stupid remarks. People are really losing their grip on life, I believe. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report is next with Sheriff Chris Francis. He was with us earlier, and we recorded his report for broadcast at this time. Sheriff?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 116 calls of service. There have been 4 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 147. Among those arrested, Brian Keith Hicks, 25-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, possession of Schedule II narcotics, and failure to appear, and received a $10,000 secure bond. Benjamin Lee Sane III, 20-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with resist, obstruct, delay, received a $2,500 secure bond. Matthew Todd Stacy, 33-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with intimidating the state's witness in DVPO violation, will see a district court judge for bond. Among our incidents, we had a breaking in and larceny motor vehicle, Mara Motor Road in Forest City. It was a 2003 Chevrolet Silverado, blue in color, displaying an independent dealer tag of 28843, valued at $8,000, and that does have Mara Motors decals on it if that were to be located. Also in the back there was a set of used 17-inch tires at $150, a grill for a 2016 Ford Escape, as well as a transmission from a 2013 F-150. So any of those items or that vehicle, we certainly would like to be notified it's been located. We recovered a stolen vehicle on Whitesides Road. It was stolen on Tuesday night from Brunswick County, and the suspect, Brian Keith Hicks, drove the 2015 Kia Optima from Brunswick County back to Rutherford County just in time to get arrested. We also had a damaged property on US 64, King Creek Grocery. Vehicle drove off with a gas nozzle, damaging that gas pump there at the King Creek Grocery last night. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Does the Shannon Dean Martin tie in with the stolen truck from Mara Motors?
He is definitely a suspect or a person of interest in that, and he is wanted on other failure to appears. So definitely use caution. He is possibly armed. If anyone will see that vehicle, best would just be call 911 to notify.
Get the first weather forecast at 6:05 here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherford.
Our next basketball game's coming up on Saturday, basketball at Florida State. That countdown to tip-off is 10:30 a.m., and the network pregame is 11 o'clock, and then the tip-off is at 12 o'clock. That is Saturday basketball with Florida State. And then on Monday night, of course, Roy Williams will be on Monday night at 7 to talk about that game and the season leading toward the ACC tournament. If they have one, I guess they will this year. We'll see how that works out with spacing people away and not letting them in the stadium. I don't know how that's going to work out yet. But they probably will have an ACC tournament somewhere, and Tar Heels hoping they'll be right there. Walter Dalton will be my guest coming up here in about 5 minutes or better, right here in the Blue Room with me to talk about his days of retirement coming up from Isotherma Community College. And then 9:05 with My Great America with Jim and Butch. We'll continue our conversation with Representative Steve Stockman, who just got out of prison thanks to President Trump. We'll talk with him how he feels like he got set up. We'll finish that conversation this morning. Right now, though, we're going to work our way toward the update on sports.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. NC State lost its third straight game in ACC play, and boy, did they lose it. The Wolfpack allowed Florida State to post its highest point total against an ACC opponent since 1993 in a 105-73 final that sends the Pack below 500 in conference play for the first time this season. In fact, Florida State shot 70.7% in taking down the Wolfpack. That is a program record for shooting percentage in an ACC game. NC State head coach Kevin Keats after the bad beat on the road.
We wanted to play fast. We didn't want to get into a half-court situation where we had to score against their half-court defense because they switched all screens. But at the end of the day, I think they made us pay for everything that we did.
Carly Jones scored a season-high 23 to help number 16 Louisville take down Wake Forest 77-65. Davian Williamson scored 19 to lead the Demon Deacons, who went 9.5 minutes without a second-half basket. On the pro court, the Dallas Mavericks picked up a 104-93 victory over the Hornets last night in Charlotte. Charlotte head coach James Borrego after last night's loss, which was their first in 5 games.
Yeah, obviously we're disappointed we didn't get the win tonight, but we battled. Give them credit. They played well in that first quarter. The rest of the way, we won the rest of, 2, 3, and 4. We won that stretch. We just had a poor start, poor first quarter, and playing from behind all night.
LeBron James scored 26 as the Lakers stayed perfect on the road by ripping the Thunder 128-99 and playing hours after reportedly acquiring James Harden. The Brooklyn Nets nipped the Knicks 116-109. Elsewhere, Milwaukee topped Detroit. Memphis took down Minnesota. The Clippers clipped the Pelicans, and Portland winners 132-126 over Sacramento. 3 games postponed last night. Utah at Washington, Orlando at Boston, and Atlanta at Phoenix, all coronavirus related. This is NCN Sports.
If you're an employer in the construction industry in North Carolina, we know that safety is your highest priority. And there are ways for you to continue to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Be sure to post bilingual COVID safety instructions at your work site. Have hand sanitizer accessible to all employees. Protect your employees and keep them safe. See more at ncunitedagainstthevirus.org. That's ncunitedagainstthevirus.org. Construction. We're built for safety.
If you control farmland in eastern North Carolina and looking for the best use of your farm, you'll want to know about the Harvey Cotton Success Program. Cotton prices are rising, and Harvey's, with nearly 150 years of helping solve problems for North Carolina farmers, introduces a truly turnkey, one-stop cotton solution without the need for third-party financing. Now is the time to consider cotton. Learn more about how you can take advantage of the Harvey Cotton Success Program at harveyfertilizerandgas.com.
On the ice, the Philadelphia Flyers won the first NHL game of the 2021 season, a 6-3 decision over the Penguins. Steven Stamkos had a goal and 2 assists in his return to the Tampa Bay Lightning lineup. He led the defending Stanley Cup champs to a 5-1 thrashing of the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blues 4-1 winners over the Avalanche. The Maple Leafs 5-4 in overtime over the Canadiens. And the Canucks toppled the Oilers 5-3. Hurricanes open the regular season schedule tonight on the road. They are in Detroit. In the NFL, Chiefs running back Clyde Edward-Helaire has practiced for the first time since suffering a high ankle sprain in a game against New Orleans in Week 15. It's raising the hopes that the first-round draft pick can play in the divisional round for his Super Bowl defending champion Chiefs in their playoff game against Cleveland on Sunday. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Thursday. This afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine, a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky expected. Highs today in the mid to upper 50s and near 60. Mostly clear sky, chilly tonight, when the low 30s for Friday morning. Friday afternoon, the clouds will be quick to increase. We'll see a chance of showers by Friday afternoon and evening. Highs in the low to mid 50s. Some showers continue Friday night into Saturday. We're chillier for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Well, it's shaping up to be another great getting up morning here in the foothills. Right now we're at 37 and warming up to 54 and light wind today. Now, the wind's going to pick up toward the weekend. As a matter of fact, on Friday morning, we may have some freezing rain as we wake up and the wind gusting to 60 miles per hour. And then on Saturday, that wind chill value is going to be as low as 29 with highs around 44, wind gusting to about 18 miles per hour on Saturday. Sunday looks good. Monday looks pretty good. Tuesday looks pretty good. Wednesday, there's another threat of some chance of rain and snow in that forecast. But we'll keep our eye on that weather pattern for you. Don't go get your bread milk just yet because it hasn't materialized. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, and I'm happy this morning to have in the studio with me in the Blue Room someone who is not unfamiliar with this area, Walter Dalton, president of Isothermal Community. Walter, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Glad to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Successful attorney, legal counsel for the county commissioners, North Carolina senator, lieutenant governor, president of Isothermal. As I said at home, you've done good, Rutherford boy. You've done good.
Well, they've done well by me. I really have enjoyed every step of the way, every one of those positions.
And so you've announced your retirement from the college.
I have. It's time.
How many years will that be? It'll be 5 years, 4 years?
At the college?
Yeah.
It'll be almost 8.
8 years.
I started in May 1st, 2013. So middle of February is my last pay date. So it's almost 8 years.
Time passes off when you're having fun.
That's right. That's right. I can't believe it. It has gone very, very fast.
What has Lucille got planned for you when you retire?
A lot, I think. But I think she's going to be happy to have me around a little bit. And I can't say enough about her. She is phenomenal. And every step of the way, every one of those positions you talked about, she was a part of that journey and always supportive and a partner all the way and supportive all the way. So I look forward to spending more time with her, the grandchildren, and the family.
Yeah, that's important to have a support like that.
It is. No question about it.
What do you feel best about your years at Isothermal? What do you feel the best about?
Well, I feel really great about, I think, the attitude, the spirit we have at Isothermal. I think it's always been there. I like to think I've added to that and inspired people to even aspire to higher levels. We've had some great awards. Dean Kim Wazisco worked with Western Carolina, and we were a national finalist for something called the Bellwether Award. It was given down in Florida. And it's very prestigious in community college circles. 2015, we were named the top business partnership with Trine International Equestrian Center. That's out of all 58 community colleges. Felt good about that. This last year, we had the #1 student in the community college system. 58 community colleges. We educate and train over 750,000 students a year. The #1 student came out of Isothermal Community College, Lauren Street. Laureen Smith presented in New York on a program that she started called Peer-to-Peer Mentoring, and it's a wonderful program, really a model for many others. And I think if you look at the community college conference they have every 2 years, we had 9 presenters one year, the last time we did it face-to-face, and we've had several presenters at SACS, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools down in Atlanta. So they have really done the work. They have done great things, and they have gotten the name of Isothermal Community College throughout the state and the Southeast and beyond. So I'm proud of those things, that I've been a part of these people working so hard to give opportunity for our students to improve their plight in life and to be a beacon for the people here in the community. And just to be a part of that and work with these wonderful people is a great thing to do.
Our community college over the years since it's been in existence has been made great contributions to our community and its growth. And of course, COVID last year sort of set things back a little bit, but Isothermal has always been a great support in industry and helping industry get going and training their people. Is that still a major part of Isothermal's plan?
It is a major part. It's if you go back to when the community college system was created, and Dallas Herring, who was the architect, there were 4 things he said these colleges would do. One was adult basic education, because we still had people who didn't have a high school degree. Another was workforce development and workforce training. One was college transfer, and one was cultural opportunities. Those things still exist, and it's very key. And we love industry, and we are, I think, the first stop for people trying to recruit industry or industry to expand. We do customized training. Mark Franklin and works for Thad Harrell, and they do a lot of the customized training. That's not part of a transfer program. It's really on-the-job type of training that benefits industry around here and helps us attract industry. One thing I think people need to realize too, though, that the jobs today are very much in healthcare and in government and in education. So we need to work on apprenticeship programs not only with business and industry, but also those, because there's a lot of jobs there. But we are a job creator in many ways, because without the skills, you're not going to get the industry here. And the thing that I hope people in Rutherford County and the state will understand, that if we continue to do what we do and do it the same way, we will move backwards. In other words, if we maintain status quo, we move backwards, because the job skills required today are much greater than they were in the past. And so if we just stay where we are, everybody else is going to pass us. So we have to be proactive, and you're familiar with our new workforce development building, engineering technology. Very proud of that. I think that was needed to help us recruit, retain industry, and to give our students those higher skills that are going to help them get those higher skilled jobs, help attract higher skilled jobs to the county, and help keep them anchored here. We have a great partnership with Trelleborg, and we have had for many, many years. And they require a lot of engineering technology. We are working with them, and we've actually gotten a grant for an international program. I'm very pleased with that. Been working on it for a couple of years. But an ARC grant where some of our students will work with Trelleborg they will identify an industrial problem. We will work with them and their employees or some students in Sweden by Zoom and collaborate and work to solve that problem. And then there will be an exchange, and that will be grant funded. But it is a global economy. Trelleborg has they manufacture in 50 countries throughout the world, and they have a myriad of products. And so realizing the globalization of the economy today is something I think that's important too, and I think that will help us recruit business here.
How did the COVID-19 affect isothermal?
Well, it's not fun, I can tell you that. But again, an applause to the people at Isothermal Community College. And I was president of our statewide association during that year. Worked with President Hans at the system office to try to coordinate those 58 community colleges. Each one of them is an autonomous college, but we do have a system approach. And so we all tried to work together to kind of do the same thing. If we all started doing different things for COVID, it would be very, very confusing. So what we did in March and April is that everything that really could go online went online. The only exception was in health and public safety. Those jobs were needed to help combat COVID. So what that really meant is some of your technical skills like machining, construction trades, welding, that has to be face-to-face, or a lot of that has to be face-to-face. Cosmetology the same way. So those labs had to be delayed until we got a better beat on what was going to be happening, but we were able to get those in the latter part of May. And then we reversed it in fall. We did the labs early because COVID at that point in time was less, and then we're about 50-50 now, face-to-face and online. And to Dr. Horton's credit, the Chief Academic Officer and Vice President of Academic Services, she arranged every single course we have at Isothermal right now has an online component. It's not an online course, but in case we have to go fully online, that it won't be foreign to the students. It won't be foreign to the instructor. They will know what is going to be needed to do that. But we're about 50-50 right now, face-to-face and online.
There have been many people who've come through isothermal and gotten their 2-year degree. They have launched their careers from isothermal and been very successful at it. And some use isothermal as a stepping stone to a 4-year college. And still there are some who think isothermal is, I don't want to go to a community college, I want to step on higher. Are we overcoming some? I've always thought isothermal was a great step for anybody. If they're not quite ready for the university system, let's go to isothermal.
We serve everybody, and it is lifelong learning. We improve life through learning, and that's what we are about. As I said, everything from adult education, someone can come and get the high school equivalent and then transfer over. We have technical degrees, 2-year degrees in the applied sciences, machining, construction trades, drafting, cosmetology, broadcast, and photography, and things like that. Those are 2-year degrees, not normally transferable. But that's one of the reasons we were finalists, because we made them transferable with Western Carolina. It was a very novel approach. But then we do have our college transfer, and our students do very well on the 4-year campus. So we're a very eclectic college. And the other thing that's so special about Isothermal Community College, due to the generosity of Martha Jane Powers, she left the college a lot of land up at Lake Lure, and it brought a lot of money, and it's allowed us to say to every student in Rutherford and Polk, we have a scholarship for you. It's a last mile scholarship. If they qualify for Pell or other scholarships, please use that first. But if not, your tuition will be free in Rutherford if you're a citizen of Rutherford or Polk County. And that is a huge benefit to our students. There's no reason that any person out there should not be able to come to Isothermal Community College and improve their life through learning. And there are a lot of non-traditional students over the age of 25 that I'll make a play right now. I hope you'll come back and skill up. That's one of the terms now, but skill up. Again, the world is changing. The high school degree is not as marketable as it used to be. It used to be 2/3 of the workforce had high school degrees, but nothing beyond. Now it's just reversed. That's only about 1/3. So, we have short-term programs. We have continuing education programs that are not for credit, not transferable courses, but will improve your life. Things like EMT and some of the fire training we do. It's a beautiful thing, and it's an open door. We don't look at an SAT or an ACT. We look at you. And we do some diagnostics at times if it's necessary to determine, are you going to need some developmental help before we throw you into the gateway courses. We want to make sure you're ready. We want to make sure you're successful. And every student on the college transfer side, we do a master academic plan. We sit down with them, and our instructors and advisors talk with them. And it's not that, oh, you want to be XYZ, well, these are the courses you need. It's how many jobs are you working? Do you have children? How many hours in the week are you going to be able to devote to this? We want you to be successful. Don't bite off more than you can chew. We know you're really going hard for your dreams, but don't take on so much that you weight yourself down and build yourself for failure. We want to help you achieve. And I applaud, again, the people at Isothermal Community College. They do a great job with that. And they always have the best interest of the student at heart. So if you're out there, if you're listening to this, think about Isothermal Community College. Think about skilling up. And you'll say, if you're going in the college transfer program, you will save so much money. If you look at the cost of going to any of our four-year schools, and English 111 is English 111. If it's in college transfer at the community college, it's really the same thing as a transferable credit, and you get it for 1/3 of the cost. And with the Power Scholarship, you really get it for free as far as tuition. So Isothermal in all of our community colleges. I'm very proud of Isothermal. It is a beacon of hope for our people, and we always need to keep it that way, and we need to keep it strong.
Very versatile. If I may share a little personal story. When I got out of the military, of course, I already had my degree when I went in. When I got out of the military, I decided to go to Isothermal and take classes that I didn't get a chance to take while I was in college. So things, marketing and business, those kind of things, I didn't take in college. So I was able to man up, or what do you say?
That's right.
And take some classes that I didn't have a chance to take in college. So I think I went 2 years over there just taking those kind of classes.
Well,
you're in marketing, those kind of things.
You're a poster child. That's what people really do need to do. We had someone in our early college, which is a very successful, that was a college transfer student, but he knew what he wanted to be, and he was rather inventive, and he knew that he needed to take some applied science courses in welding and drafting so he could invent some of the things, but he was going to go on to a four-year school. And you mentioned some of our people coming through have started their own business. You're very familiar with our Small Business Center.
Yes.
And we're there to support small businesses, existing, but those who are entrepreneurs that want to create their own business. We want them to be successful. That's what will help drive our economy. So, I think the community college system in and of itself was a great vision for North Carolina. The founders of Isothermal had great vision. I think it's the prettiest campus of all 58. We have compliments on that all the time. The new Workforce Development Building with the sign Isothermal there and that granite sign out front. To me, that granite sign, Ivy Cowan paid for that when the college was first created, but it says strength and integrity and character, and this is where you can come to improve your life, and that's what we're all about.
Of course, you'll be leaving shortly in just a few days, but what would you like to see in 5 years? How would you like to see Isothermal in 5 years from now?
people fully enrolled, fully engaged. There's several things I would love to see happen. One, I would like to see our health science program back on the campus proper. Right now, we're at the Rutherford Elementary School. We refurbished that. And I don't mean to be ungrateful for the county. They let us use that. It's good space. It's a lot of space. But I've said, we got the asbestos, and Rutherford got a brand new elementary school, and I applaud them for getting a new elementary school. And the public schools have had a lot of construction over the years. And Isothermal is a beautiful campus, but those buildings are getting older. They have repair and renovation needs that have to be attended to. But the one thing we need is a health science building back on the campus. And I would love to see that done in partnership with some of the health care providers around here, that we could share space. That would be very productive. I would like to see that happen. Something that's not so educationally oriented, but there's a 4 or 5 acre tract right there at the foundation that is not owned by the college. But if a private company came in with a hotel restaurant type complex, that was built to be a conference center type thing. That is great synergy. And then with our hospitality and our culinary programs, we could probably move something up there and have great synergy. Even the radio station up there would make sense, very close to the performing arts venue. We've started a lot of equine programs and human service technology programs that are very popular right now, along with dental assisting. I hope to see those very, very full, and I would like to see even stronger relationship between the community college and our four-year schools. And I say that to the whole system. We have been very successful on the K-12 end, and it was not easy at first. I was very involved in that. The early college movement, career college promise, dual enrollment. A lot of the college presidents didn't want high school kids on their campus. That were more for adults. We have merged that where it's very seamless now, and it's very, very successful. It accelerates the learning. It ups the rigor for the students because we expect more in a shorter period of time. Really saves money in the long run and better prepares them for the economy because they get their degrees earlier and they are prepared. If we can do that with K-12, there has to be a better way to synergize what we do with four-year schools. And not just 2+2 programs. Those are good, but we can make them better. And I would like to see a system-wide effort on that.
So I'll ask you too, do you foresee Isothermal Community College ever becoming 4 years?
I do not. Now, there are some. You've got some governance issues there, too. You've got the Board of Governors that's for the public universities, and then you've got our system office. I am for that synergy I was talking about. But I think the vision, first of all, I think you would get a lot of opposition from your existing four-year schools, both public and private. You're talking about a political battle that may not be worth the battle. What we do extremely well, and we prepare students for that transfer. And if we can facilitate that transfer by creating those synergies, and maybe they have a greater presence with our community colleges to facilitate that transfer. But my personal view is that, one, it would be a very tough political battle. And I think, we do what we do well, and let's stay with that. But it's possible over, 20 years out or so, something like that could happen. I would like to see a four-year school here, but in fact, I talked to Chancellor Bardeau back when I was in politics about Western Carolina having bricks and mortar near Isothermal. So maybe it would be their teaching, similar to what they've done up at Biltmore, where they have their nursing program, bricks and mortar. And he would have been for that, but you got to find the money for it, and that's not easy.
We got to wrap this thing up. One other question: what can you tell us about your successor?
Oh, I think she's great. I will. Let me tell you real quickly. Our trustees did a fantastic job. We had 66 applicants from 4 different countries. Some of them were former presidents, well recommended. They looked over all 66. They had a national consultant. 27, I think, of the applicants were from North Carolina or contiguous states. Margaret Annunziata is the new president. She is the vice president of academic services at Davidson Community College, has been there over 20 years. She's been in the North Carolina system for that period of time. She's served in several different positions: institutional effectiveness, early childhood, and now academic services. She started an apprenticeship program, which I think we need, and that will be great experience. She's been involved in international education, one of 8 people selected from the United States by the French embassy to go to Paris to talk about global education with what we're doing with Trelleborg and hopefully others. She's a good fit, I think, and I think you will like her, and I'm sure you'll have her here sometime to speak, and I think you'll enjoy getting to meet her, and I look forward to her taking isothermal the next step forward and well beyond and doing great things.
Well, Walter Norton, the best to you in your retirement.
Thank you, Jim.
I hope you get a lot of rest and get to do some things you so want to do.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I guess it's more Walter Dolan, the president of isothermal, for a few more weeks anyway. See you.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a few moments with me and My Great America, Butch, Jim and Butch. I'll see you in a few minutes.
It's a new month, and a new crop of scratch-offs are ready to harvest. These tickets are fresh off the vine and plump with prizes. Oh yeah, smells like a winner to me. So come on down. Your freshest chances to win in an instant are ready with new scratch-offs like Mega Bucks and Quick 100s from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Kinda gives cash crop a whole new meaning. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 4.05 to 4.63. Problem gambling helpline, 877-718-5543.
Hello, this is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. Are you on disability? Or maybe you're on Medicare? Or maybe both? Come see me, Dwayne Hunt at Insurance Service Associates, about a Medicare Advantage product brought to you by Humana. Please give me a call, 245-5301 at Insurance Service Associates, 127 East Trade Street, Forest City.
It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood once the clouds are leaving, the sun comes out, the temperature is going to warm up. Today up to about 54 degrees. Nice day in the neighborhood. My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up here in just a few moments with Congressman Stockman. And he'll be our guest doing the broadcast, so hang around for that if you will. Right now I'm going to give a little music down memory lane. So long, everybody.
100.9 FM and 590 AM. The best of both worlds. This is WCAB Rutherfordton.
Gilbert Talks Taxes is on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. Get the latest from the IRS in North Carolina. That's Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday from 8 to 9 only on WCAB.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Hello and happy Thursday. This afternoon, we'll see plenty of sunshine, a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky expected. Highs today in the mid to upper 50s and near 60. Mostly clear sky, chilly tonight when the low 30s for Friday morning. Friday afternoon, the clouds will be quick to increase. We'll see a chance of showers by Friday afternoon and evening. Highs in the low to mid 50s. Some showers continue Friday night into Saturday. We're chillier for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Butch. We're welcoming Butch via telephone this morning. He, again, is not in the blue room with me this morning. He's out in the wild blue yonder somewhere. Good morning, Butch.
Good morning, Jim. You know, I'm sitting on the porch of my cousin Steve's beautiful place in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. There's an American flag that he has on a flagpole that's waving in the gentle wind. Some of the most fertile farmland in America. It's one of the things that makes America great. And you know what? We need to remember God's promises and his plan for the nation as we're in the midst of what arguably is some of the most tumultuous times that we've seen since the Civil War. But you know what? God is on the throne. And we've got an incredible guest today. We're not going to spend a lot of time on anything else but letting Steve Stockman, Congressman Steve Stockman, who was wrongfully imprisoned for calling out all of the shenanigans under Lois Lerner at the Internal Revenue Service, Eric Holder. You know, the Obama administration had purposed in their heart to set a mark on faith-based and conservative organizations. He was a whistleblower. He came to the marketplace and said, this is wrong, and we need to do something about it. And 2 weeks after an interview on national television, the FBI showed up at his home. He'll tell you more about his story and why it's relevant, what we can do as we look at the day and age that we're in. But you know what? The most important thing here today, first, Jim, is to do as we often do, which is to put a stake in the ground with words that aren't from some political pundit, not from some cable disc jockey, not from somebody that's trying to make a name for themselves, but words that come from the name above all names found in Scripture. And this morning it's Psalm 119, starting in verse 153. Look upon my agony and rescue me, for I do not forget your law. Plead my cause and redeem me. Revive me and give me life according to the promise of your word. Salvation is far from the wicked, for they do not seek your statutes. Great are your tender mercies and steadfast love, O Lord. Revive me and give me life according to your ordinances. Many are my persecutors and my adversaries, yet I do not turn away from your testimonies. I see the treacherous and loathe them because they do not respect your law. Consider how I love your precepts. Revive me and give me life, O Lord, according to your loving kindness. The sum of your word is truth, the full meaning of all your precepts, and every one of your righteous ordinances endures forever. You know, congressmen and people in government and people in political power think somehow that they're writing out the laws that will end up on our heart. The only law on our heart is going to be the laws that are found in God's timeless, unshakable word. So with that as a backdrop this morning, Jim, you're going to take the lead and have a wonderful conversation with former Congressman Stockman. He is Trump prison, and got President Trump commuted his sentence. He needs a full pardon, and we need to get behind him towards that end.
I think you're right. I appreciate you setting that up with him because it is very important information, particularly the kind of things we're seeing now happening in Washington and places like that. If it happened to Congressman Stockman, it could certainly happen to anyone else.
No question. And make no mistake about this. We're not called to fear, but we're called to action. And this is not a time to be passive. It's not a time to pull the covers up over one's head and say, I'm just depressed at what's going on. No, it's time to suit up and show up in a way that's legal and righteous and guided by God's word. It's time to fight for our country in the right ways. And again, I'm going to make the quick disclaimer before I get off the phone here. It is not righteous. There's no righteousness behind tearing apart the Capitol building, assaulting people, screaming out profanities, and doing that in the name of Jesus. Those kinds of activities only are birthed and incubated by the father of lies, who we know to be the devil. So, but in ways that are patriotic, in ways that are firm and fixed, with a jaw like flint, built on the unshakable truths of God's word, we are called to battle for a nation that was built on Judeo-Christian principles. And I was telling my son, who just took his residency test, he's in medical school, told him yesterday, Samuel, on my watch, I'm not going to let the moorings of America be torn apart and let this great ship of a nation drift away. It simply will not happen. And that's certainly been the clarion call of our church, to try to do our small part to affect the destiny of the nation. And Jim, I know for many decades that's been your heart too.
Absolutely. I appreciate your courage and your fight, your ability to fight like that. We appreciate it very much. Wish you could hang around with us a little longer, but I know you've got to clear out the phone so Congressman Stockman can get in. And we'll miss you here in the Blue Room, but look forward to seeing you next week.
I look forward to seeing you Tuesday. And, Jim, there's something righteous, it seems, just about the farm setting. And I have to confess this. I actually like the wafting smell of manure in the morning on a farm.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of farm boy in me. So I'll let you to Steve Stockman now, and I know it's going to be a wonderful time of exchange with him.
Be safe on your travels.
Thanks so much. See you Tuesday.
All right, bye. And that's, of course, Butch on the road. They're up with his family members for a few days. He'll be back with us on Tuesday. And Congressman Stockman calling in, I believe, right now. We'll get him on the phone just as quickly as we can make that connection with him and continue our conversation with him. And I believe Congressman Stockman is on the phone with you right now. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Fabulous. How are you?
Doing great. Appreciate you spending your time with us. It's so important that we discuss this with you and get some more insight. Before we get into some of the things that we want to talk about, let me ask you, first of all, from your professional opinion, what do you make of what happened yesterday in the House of Representatives with the impeachment process?
I think it's horrible what they're doing to our Constitution. The Constitution laid out parameters for an impeachment, and what we had there was basically a rushed fast food impeachment without even knowing the facts. More and more facts are coming out now, and it's unfortunate that Nancy Pelosi is using that process to further a political agenda.
Well, they came down pretty strong. The government did back when you were a congressman. Fill our audience in again and refresh our memory on what got you to where you were and just got out of prison. What got you there?
What put me in prison is I challenged the Obama administration, which anybody that's going to challenge I call it the third term of Obama, coming up with Joe Biden, where almost 60 to 70% of the employees being put in are actually former Obama officials. What I did is I challenged Obama. I challenged the Eric Holder and Lois Lerner, and in all cases, those were the people that brought me to trial.
Now, you were on a talk show and being interviewed to talk about how they were doing the nonprofit organizations and the church groups. Is that what sort of ticked them off?
Right now, they have a demonstrable thing called defund the right, and that means anybody that's a Christian or Republican. There's 74 million people that voted for Donald Trump, and now they're trying to make it so you can't purchase things, you can't travel, you can't go to hotels. This is what we're seeing in third world or communist states. It's frightening that they can do this just for speaking out and exercising your First Amendment.
Do you anticipate this getting worse these next 4 years than what you experienced?
I believe that under the new administration, especially Department of Justice, if you look back, they put Sally Yates and some of the old Obama people in there. You're going to see a larger and more consistent attack on Americans that are either Christians or conservatives, and it's all going to be in name of white supremacists. Anything that you believe in that you feel is fairly reasonable and godly, you'll be attacked, and many leaders will be thrown in prison.
Congressman, you had a lot of people praying for you and fighting for you on your behalf. What did that mean to you, know that you had folks back at home still pulling for you?
I had people all over the country praying for me. It meant a lot. Even our friends in North Carolina, all over the country, set out praying. I think I wouldn't be out today if it wasn't for those prayers and God's wisdom. And we got to realize both our founding fathers of our faith and of our nation sacrificed and often were thrown in prison, lost their lives and livelihood. But prayer sustained everyone from Paul and Peter. We watched as they were suffering through the Bible, and I sure appreciate all the prayers and love.
Now, of course, I know when you heard that Donald Trump was commuting your sentence, how did you react?
Well, at first I thought they were putting me in solitary confinement again. When I found out that it indeed was a commutation, I couldn't stop weeping, and I called my wife, and she started crying. And we were just so rejoicing at God's wisdom and successfully getting me out of prison.
You said solitary confinement. They had put you in solitary confinement over this stay?
I was in solitary confinement multiple times, including one time in which they put a known convicted murderer in with me, and he was so violent that he was confined to solitary confinement for 33 months. His nickname was Psycho, and yet God, like putting someone in a lion's den, preserved me, and we actually talked about God. Wow,
what an experience! I'm sure at some point after all this is settled, there must be a book in there somewhere. Congressman, you need to write that story. What does this mean to us in America today? What do we need to do to make sure that don't happen anymore? How do we fight back?
Well, it's ironic. A lot of this was of this structure where the election, the way it turned out, and all that's coming forth right now, actually was game theoried out in Georgetown University by a professor who worked for Obama, and they had different scenarios. So what's coming up for Christians, I think, is as they advocate, and they're not lying. They say a structural change in the way America operates. They believe the founding fathers were racist, and in fact, the one that's just been appointed to the DOJ's Civil Rights Division believes that whites are inferior to blacks because blacks have melanin in their skin.
Wow, it's unbelievable the things that are going on. How did they and where did they come up with all the charges they filed against you when you went to trial? They would put you in prison and into solitary confinement. What did they charge you for?
Well, the original charge was just one charge, and then they ended up culminating in 28 charges, and they call it stacking, which actually is unconstitutional, but they go ahead and do it now. The Constitution is becoming less and less meaningful. But they took the one charge of one individual thing, and then they stacked it with wire fraud, mail fraud on top of that. In other words, say you sell a piece of candy, and they'll declare it, money laundering and wire fraud because you sold a piece of candy. In my case, the actual one of the accounts was a Wells Fargo account, and actually a Wells Fargo credit card, which Wells Fargo, issued frequently without the knowledge of a person. And I got charged for money laundering and wire fraud for a savings account that I never opened. And those two counts alone are 20 years each.
Are you hoping, or what are the possibilities of the president, before he leaves office, actually pardoning you?
Well, the president is hopefully going to, Obama pardoned 1,100 people, including terrorists and things like that. I really believe Obama should pardon, President Trump should pardon just as many, but they need to pardon many, many Christians who have been persecuted under Obama. It was one of these things that wasn't widely known, but I met pastors and lots of Christians in prison. I met almost no leftists in prisons. It's just like what we're watching. The cities are burning, and they say nothing, and yet now all of a sudden they're concerned when Trump people are involved, which I don't believe, by the way, Trump people organized that.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because I don't either. Have any of the president's people or staff been in touch with you since you've gotten out?
No, I haven't heard from any of the staff, but I'm really grateful to our president. He was a fantastic president, and yet he endured an onslaught of personal attacks. Like I don't think any other person, frankly, in the United States could have endured what he endured and kept a sane mind. We're now told black is white, white's black, and everything's upside down. And he really stood forth and firm. And people who abandon him should not abandon him. Not at this hour.
Yeah, that's disappointing and shocking that so many would kick a man when he's down like that, and folks that you would think would be on your side and try to uplift you. And I'm sure you've saw how important that is for people to uplift you and to stand by you in spite of the fact that the national media and all the press was trying to paint you as some kind of bad guy, but you had a lot of friends who stood by you and believed you.
Yeah, I had the DOJ would publish press releases, and it was amazing. The press would print them verbatim, and pretty soon our conservative media would pick up the narrative, and they never interviewed anybody in our case. It was always taken from the Department of Justice, and we got to be careful about where we're getting our news and who we're getting our news and what's their agenda. When I got picked up, one of the agents said, "I hate the wall," referring to the president's wall. And the other one in the front seat said, "Well, you ran against my friend, defeat him." And I was shocked because they didn't talk about the supposed crime. They talked about politics and how angry they are at the conservatives.
It looks like sometimes they're sort of picking on the folks from Texas. They put another great congressman behind bars out in Texas some few years ago. Do you see that possibly happening with somebody like Ted Cruz, who stood up for the president and fought for him this time?
I think they're going to go after the president. I don't think their greatest threat is the president because he stands up to them like no one else does. They can't have someone else like that. Cruz stands up to him. Anybody that stands up against the left is going to be attacked. And but there's a Chinese proverb, I guess it is, that says the nail that's up highest gets pounded harder. So I'm concerned about, if we don't stick together. I believe it was Ben Franklin said, if we don't hang together, we will surely hang separately.
Yeah. Well, what's the next step for Congressman Stockman?
Well, we're still kind of getting our lang legs. In fact, last night we had our first date in a long time. I've been either friends or married to my wife since 1980, and that was a long separation to deliberately separate us, so I couldn't make contact with her, and it was pretty brutal. In fact, there's one gentleman now who needs his prayers and call in to the president. He's his Senator John Woods out of Arkansas. He's now in solitary confinement since June. He's a Christian man. They threw him in prison for getting money for a Christian college on trumped-up charges. It's horrible how they're treating him. And he's one of many people that are in prison that were put there for their faith and for their conservatism.
This is not what America is all about.
No, America's people need to unite, but what they did by orchestrating that narrative. By the way, all the left always has a narrative in orchestrating the narrative. My friend, who was a chairman of a committee, stood there outside the Capitol, and he saw several Antifa people rounding Trump supporters that were basically Christian people, and he was rounding them up. Hey, get inside the Capitol, get inside the Capitol. Everybody's going in. And he caught one guy who had a Confederate flag in the noose, and he said, "Hey, he's a provocateur." And a large African-American grabbed the Confederate flag in the noose, and he ran off. There's a lot of footage outside the Capitol that needs to be examined. But the people on the outside that were orchestrating that took off, or a lot of them took off, but there's still footage of it. And people are coming forth now with more and more information. In fact, the one that everybody sees on TV with the bare chest and all that was actually a registered Democrat.
Interesting. While you were in prison there, how often were you able to communicate with your wife and family?
I wasn't for the last since I'm trying to think. It's been I don't know how many months it was, but they put us under quarantine again. How convenient COVID has worked in their favor. They use COVID for everything, and so I was denied access to my wife's. I had one 15-minute phone call per week, and I took advantage of that. I had no visitation rights were restricted or taken away from me.
And how long were you there in prison?
Almost 2 years and 8 months. My sentence was for 10 years, which was the highest they gave anybody. The judge actually should have recused herself for numerous reasons, because reportedly she was a friend of the guy I ran against. And she has a history, even though she was appointed by the first Bush, she has a history of voting pretty liberal. And she was a chief justice. So it's sad that we have a justice system that's two-tiered, and the political drive of the justice system now is more important than facts or really sad, to be honest with you.
Well, how can we as conservatives and Christians and friends, what can we do to help you and others that are in the same position you've been in?
On the short term, we need to help John Woods, who's a state senator. We have only until Tuesday to call the White House, because after that, as you know, it's going to be too late. And your congressman there locally, North Carolina, Mark Meadows, if anybody within my voice knows him, needs to call Mark and let him know that you have a Christian man in solitary confinement who's being brutalized by the system. And actually some of the mail that's written to him is returned. The long term, we got to wake up to what's going on, and there needs to be a clarion call. But I'm afraid that the amount of money from the foreign countries, ironically, mostly from China, is destroying this country.
China pretty much owns us now, don't they?
Yeah, in fact, I tweeted out this morning that Xi's our new president. That's the Xi Jinping. He follows in the footsteps of Mao, which, if anybody knows anything about Mao, he killed so many people and was not really anywhere close to what proclaimed in the propaganda about him. He was brutal and a murderous dictator.
Well, Congressman, our time's running out, and I don't want to get too personal, but I am interested and concerned about your health. How is your health coming out of prison?
Well, my wife is phenomenal, as you know. She was really a tough cookie in all of this, and fought back, and she scheduled lots of appointments. They changed some of my medicine, and I'm still seeing doctors. The health care, frankly, is the lowest bidder, which is government health care. What we're going to get now is who ran the health care in the prisons, and they have lack any empathy for the inmates. And so I'm fortunate now that I'm able to get good health care. So I'm very appreciative. And I've been to the doctor many times since I've been out.
Well, we can wish you and pray for you continued success in that and good health. One final word that you would have to our audience this morning. And again, let me tell you how much we appreciate you giving us this exclusive interview. What would you say to our audience this morning? Last final words.
You need to, first of all, pray. Your nation's at more time than any in the history of our entire nation. We are in a very, very precarious, dangerous situation. And there are forces out there who are organized against this nation who are, I call it the Pearl Harbor of attack. What they're doing is a classic Marxist takeover of countries. Saw it in Venezuela, even in South Korea more recently. And they need to pray, but more importantly, please get involved. your nation. Many people laid their lives down to defend this nation. And also be aware, Hebrews 13:3 talks about remember those in prison. Our Christian brothers and sisters are going to be locked up, and we need not to forget them. The Marxist creed is to target, isolate, and then kill off, and that's what they're doing. Targeting, isolate, and kill off. Pray for those and keep aware of what's about to come.
Congressman Stockman, God bless you. Thank you for what you're doing, and the best to you in the future. And stay in touch, and we'll certainly stay in touch with you.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. God bless you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.